Oh, pot of tea. Do you enjoy a pot of tea? My favourite thing to do on the weekend is go to a little cafe and have an Earl Grey pot of tea with a scone and jam and cream. One of my favourite things to do with my girlfriends. And Sunday morning at home, pot of tea is a must. I don't know about you, but there's such a difference between a tea bag and freshly brewed tea on a Sunday morning. So enjoy. Good morning. It's Sunday the 29th of October here in Tassie. You've reached me at Patchy Pony Stitcher. My name's Mel and this is a channel all about cross stitch. Sometimes a few different bits of craft thrown in, but today it is all cross stitch and I have lots to show you. But first of all, I want to say thank you for coming back if you're a returning subscriber, and if you're new, welcome. I hope there's something here that you enjoy and like and you continue to subscribe, or if you're not subscribed, do so, because I have a big giveaway coming up when we hit 2,000 subscribers, which is not far away. So what have you all been up to? I've just been doing lots and lots of stitching and finishing. Nothing really new to report on the home front, so nothing there. I do want to say a big condolences to those that are affected by the Maine shootings. It breaks my heart to see those type of events occur. It's unnecessary. There's any violence that's happening around the world at the moment is unnecessary, but what has happened in Maine last week is just truly heartbreaking. The people that have been affected directly, but also people from past shootings, it resurfaces all those feelings. So my thoughts and virtual hugs go out to you all that have been affected by that in Maine. It's just devastating. Yeah, terrible. Okay, so on a brighter note, after I have another sip of this lovely fresh hot piping tea. Tea has to be hot. I have two framed finishes. I've got other finishes to show you today, but two framed finishes. Now, if you've watched my Flosstube extra, I did do a stitch with me which completed this beauty. But here we go. Here is Prairie Romance, fully framed. Finished, framed, 5 years in the making, all done. Now in my Flosstube extra, I do apologise about the glare. It has got like a museum glass on it, so at night it doesn't look like it has glass on it, but during the day you do get a little bit of reflection. This frame I picked up at a thrift store for $4 and it was massive and it included the glass, and my husband, bless him, cut it down for me, which you'll see in the video if you want to go back and see how we did it. And we made two frames out of this gold frame. Ideally it was for this this piece which I picked the frame up from the thrift shop, and I am so happy with how it turned out. The colors, I think the gold just suits it beautifully. So 5 years this one took me to stitch, but I wasn't monogamous at all. It just it was a prompt stitch. So I'm just glad it's done. I love having it on my wall now when I go past. It's just, I did that. So really happy with it, and I'm on to my next full cut. Well, I had already previously started my next full coverage, but I loaded my next full coverage onto my frame, which is the gift, and it's another horse chart, totally different from this one. But I am so happy with this guy, all completely finished, and it didn't cost me a fortune to frame. I did it all myself, and the frame cost $4. Bargain. The other fully finished I have is Blossom by Carolyn Manning Designs. This had been in my whip pile for a long time. It was a tedious stitch. I love it now that it's finished, so I'll just bring it back. And again, this was a thrift shop find. And I'd had it in my stash for a long time, this frame. It's probably a little bit bigger than I would have chosen, but now that it's in there, I'm actually quite happy with how it presents in the middle with the space around it. But it was a tedious stitch. All those color changes, and I didn't want to carry thread, so there was a lot of threading needles with this one, but I do love how the crocheted flowers just give it a bit of texture. As you can see, they came with the kit when I purchased it. Well, not the kit, it came with the chart when I purchased it. So I have gifted that onwards now, but the person who, Deb Wilson, who I gifted it to, she can crochet new flowers, so she's got that skill up her sleeve to be able to add those on. But I am really happy with how Blossom turned out. And I'm happy to have it out of my whip pile, because that one, it did take a while as well, because it was one that I just kept putting off because it was just tedious having to thread the needle all the time. Now, I did show you a finish a couple of weeks ago. This is a stitch. We could call it a friend stitch, but it was a stitch that my friend Emily had started and then was UFOing and redoing it on new fabric because she wasn't happy with the fabric. So Emily had stitched this part. This is a Blackbird's Anniversaries of the Heart. This is block 1, and she had partially done block 2. Some of the house, I think she'd done all of the flower, so all I had to do was complete the house, the birds. No, I think Emily had even done the birds. So really it was just completing the house, and I put an E and an M, finished off the border, and I turned it into a little drum. So on the bottom we've just got some fabric that matches. I didn't put any batting in the top this time, and I've just got a little bit of silk ribbon around the top and a little bit of rickrack, and we called that done. So that's and so in the winter time I can have it on this display, and then other times I can have it on the house if it's a more sort of earthy tones in my decor. But winter I definitely like the light blues and the whites. So I'm really happy with how this guy turned out and how the ribbon matches both scenes. So another finish, another drum. I am a bit of drum obsessed, and here comes another one. This is the Spring Bunny freebies from Wild Iris Nap. So this was a freebie, and it was 2 different charts which I sort of merged together for the bunnies and the carrots. And I've just made a larger, fatter drum, added some fabric that coordinated, some rickrack, and this little guy will come out at Easter time. So I'm happy with how this one came along. He's a little bit wonky on the top, but at least it's finished and it's out on display. And this fabric was by Fancy Fabrics. Down here in Tasmania, there's a lady who does the fabrics, and it's called speckled egg, like the candy eggs that you get. So I thought that was very appropriate. And I have one more finish to show you, which you haven't even seen the start of. It was just a little ornament. Oops, my cup of tea is sitting on it. So the ornament that I chose to do was this guy by Autumn Lane Stitchery. He's on the front cover. But I like my Mill Hill kits, so I adapted. Yes, I have. I pulled it out from under my cup of tea and I've undone the cording. So I did this guy treated him like a Mill Hill kit. So as you can see, he did have a little bit of, if I can get that to focus. Whoops, now I've wobbled the camera. So he's got a few little bits and pieces and snowflakes around outside. I just changed it and made him solid without the piece of the stick going through him. Did all the back stitching, mounted him. So I used red perforated paper, mounted him with some red felt on the back, adhesive felt with a hanger, which now I have to fix because it's one edge has come out. And I just popped on this little faux leather embellishment that I have a bag of that I got off Amazon. They're really cute. It just says handmade with love. So, and yeah, so all I didn't even stitch it on. I just did the stitching and then glued it on. And this will be for my son and his partner. They've just moved into their first home, bought their first home together. So I made a little ornament for their tree this year. And I'm really happy with how he came out. He was super cute. And he didn't take that long to stitch, but I just love the shading that Aaron does in his in those, and there is a Mrs. Claus, so I might do that for them next year. So that is my fully finished items. The next one I'm going to get into is my works in progress, my whips. So I've got 5 to show you, and I'm going to have a sip of my tea again before it gets cold. Actually, what I might do is pause and just reshuffle, because anyone that does Flosstube knows you end up with piles of stuff everywhere. So one memento. Okay, so the first whip that I'm going to show you is actually a new start that I had to start for a prompt because I didn't have anything with a strawberry in it. So I started Strawberry Field by Sub Rosa Design. It's out of the Punch Needle and Primitive Stitcher magazine because I had a digital subscription, and I started stitching this, and this is where I'm up to. And as I'm stitching this, I decided, oh, it's a nice triangular design. I wasn't real too crash hot on the crows, so I am going to turn this into a strawberry. So it's just the perfect design for a strawberry being triangular. Now, the red thread that I'm using is from Cottage Garden Threads. So I had purchased the Hearts for Pam package that they did back in February, March, as a sort of a helping for Pam and her surgery. And I got my package and I just fell in love with this Hugs and Kisses red thread that I was busting to use it. And doesn't it make great strawberries? It's just got beautiful, beautiful texture. I just love, my preference with variegated threads is when it's all one color, like all red, and it just changes in and out. I don't particularly like threads that go from red to orange or red to another color, but I do love variegated threads when it's just the one color but changing in its shade. So this will definitely get lots of use. So that's where I'm up to at the moment. It'll probably be a finish by the next time I film. But just loving that little stitch. It's quite cute. So that's 600 stitches, and that was for my prompt stitching. So that's just on a 16 count tea dyed Ada that I tea dyed myself. So just use everything's from stash. Didn't buy anything new for that one. The next one that I'm going to show you is a Madame Chantilly design, and it's on my Lowry. I'll have to get that. I was working on this one last night for a prompt, something related to fashion. And so this is the chart. And the reason I related it to fashion is because of the matchy-matchy, keeping it fashionable to have a matching umbrella and a matching pair of boots. I have changed my colour to a teal. And this is where I'm up to with this guy. And this is on quite a loose 32 count linen, and I'm using variegated floss for the chickens and the hen, and a beautiful silk by Silks for You for the blue umbrella and gumboots. And love these needle minders. This is one of those ones from Laurie Holt from the Chicken Club. Just love that. Goes so well with that chart too. Very in keeping. So that was Singing in the Rain. I've already put a where I was before, so I put 700 stitches in that one for prompt stitching. The next one I am going to show you is one of my favorites. This is also from Laurie Holt. This is called Kaleidoscope, and I'm going to show you where I was up to before here, and this is where I'm up to now, and I love this. Deb, you're a genius. I am mimicking Deb from Country Stitches with her colourings and choices, and it's a light blue with a Valdani. Well, she's using a Verissois, but I have a Valdani colours, and I just love the back stitching, and it's actually quite pleasurable to do the back stitching all the way around and just it makes it pop off the fabric. When you just do the light blue, it doesn't stand out, but it sort of just, I don't know. As soon as you put the back stitching in, it just brings it all together. So this is what the chart, it came in a book. So this is actually a quilting book that this chart comes in, if I can turn it in the right way for you. So it's Kaleidoscope by Laurie Holt, Be In My Bonnet. So it's actually a quilting book, but it does come with the kaleidoscope pattern in it. And that's 2 different colourways that is in the book. So that's what it'll look like, if I can turn it so you can see it straight on. And they're my colours. And it actually gives you quite a number of different choices, or not choices, ideas to change with your colour palette. So you could do this in so many different colours, and it's got DMC there, but so I'm using a Verissois. No, beg your pardon, I'm using Valdani's, and I just love these little balls of floss. They are just so nice to work with, and it's quite charming. I would love to have a little bowl full of Valdani threads just sitting out on display. They're so cute. I love them. But if I had one favourite stitch at the moment, it is this one. So love my kaleidoscope. Thank you, Deb, for the inspiration. If you haven't watched Deb at Country Stitches, Deb and Liz do some beautiful stitching. Okay, so that one had, where is it, Kaleidoscope. So that had 600 stitches since I showed you last. Now this next one that I'm going to show you is called Choose Your Own Motto by Heartstring Samplery, and it says in it, all I'm saying is that you never see me crying and eating tacos at the same time. Now this was an adopted stitch. This was started by Christine by Stitch All the Things, and then she abandoned it and did a giveaway on her channel, and I was lucky enough to win. So this is where I was up to before, and I have since put in 700 stitches, and this is where I'm up to now. Oh, excuse the needle minder. If you don't like a naughty word, you'll have to look away because I can't display that, and it's got a needle attached to it. Now this is on a 25 count, and it's 1/1. So this is my first over 1 work, and I am going to have to pull this flower out because I've done it incorrectly. I noticed the other day when I was stitching on this, and this is on vintage country mocha, where it's mottled on one side and not on the other. And I haven't decided yet what I am going to put into this as my motto, because I won't be putting the taco reference, but I want something super snarky to go in there. So something that would be unpredictable with a nice floral border around it. So that is that one. And the last one I'm going to show you today, I have worked on more, but I only do a showing of 5 projects that I work on that I've put the most stitches in. Otherwise, we'd be here forever because I've probably touched like 15 over the month. So the last one that I'm going to show you is my Consider the Lilies. This is the design, again, by Heartstring Samplery. And I have put 1,500 stitches in this since you saw it last. So this is where it was up to before. Helps if I put it up the right way. Okay, I might have to. And, oh, we've turned the corner. And this is where I'm up to now. Now, this is difficult to show because it is a big stitch. So I've been working in the bottom right-hand corner, and as you can see, I've done the top, and now we're coming round. I'd still say I'm less than half. I've got a big tree and a big house to start on, but I would like to get all the border done first. So I'm doing sort of like a page by page with the border, because the border is repetitive and I'm not good with repetitive stitching, how I have learned about myself. So that is where I'm up to. I love that berry basket. It is so cute. This is a really fun stitch, and every time, and as many people have said with samplers. Once you sort of do one motif, it feels like a little finish, and it does, because you're sort of packing it away knowing that you've completed a part. So not that I've packed it away completed, because I have started on a little cat there, but had completed my stitch count for the challenge that I was doing. Oh, I love this stitch too. This would be my second favourite. So now I've got to put that back on the Q-snap. I hadn't pulled it out off the Q-snap since you saw it last, so it is nice to pull it all out myself and see how the progress looks when you do that. Oh, it's gone cold now. Okay. Now, after my last video, I'm going to have to bend down. After my last video, I had talked about my last full floss tube, that is, not my extras. I've got 2 extras in between these 2. I talked about, I had seen on Neat and Knot by the Sea, oh, it's not Catherine. Catherine's her daughter. Or is Victoria? Oh, I'm getting mixed up now. I do apologise. But one of the ladies on By Neat and Not by the Sea had received a lovely package from an international viewer who had sent floss tags made out of food packaging. And I loved that idea. I'm a big fan of recycling. And I thought, oh, that, and it was she was from Spain or something. So the packaging wasn't in English, and I just loved that idea. And I thought, oh, I'm going to see, and dug around, and as I've been throwing things out, I started seeing what I could turn into floss tags, because I've got a punch to do that. So I've made, like, that's just out of a cereal box. This is from pasta, shortbread, more shortbread. That's from a pastry, and it's just not necessarily even got words on it, but I just, like cereal boxes. I just love being able to reuse these, and I go through floss drops, and it doesn't matter then if you write on them and then toss them, because you've reused them. I love this one. This is the tea. So I had a lot of positive response with that. So if you would like to swap with me, and I'm more than happy to post overseas, and we'll just do a 10 floss drops. My email will be in the description below. Send me an email with your postal address, and we can do a swap of floss drops out of food packaging. So how cool is that? I just love them. And yes, so I haven't punched the bottom holes in them yet. And yeah, that's what I've got so far. So but I've got a stack of packages there that I need to punch. The next thing I'm going to talk about is my future fun. So I received my package, as I said before, from Hearts for Pam. And I did do a full unboxing. So if you want to see every pattern and a close-up of everything, go back to my extra in the previous video and you can see all the charts. But what I'm going to show you is the future fun that I've decided to add to my stash for stitches to do. I have gifted some of the patterns that I received to friends that I know that probably isn't my style. They're beautiful, but we can't stitch everything. So I've picked out the ones that I would like to stitch. Now the first one I'm going to be stitching is Seasons of the Heart. This is a blue flower, and if you're familiar with Janine's charts, she's got a Season of the Hearts, so this will match in, and it's all Australian animals. But what I do love is this little Tassie Devil on the bottom here, so I think he will get used a lot because he's really quite well charted for to represent him. He's quite a good example of a Tassie Devil. So that one is on my to be stitched. I'm also going to stitch the Fox and Rabbit called Bathtub of Blooms. I think this is quite sweet for a spring design. something a little bit different. I'm also going to do the Jeanette Douglas one, which is just called Heart for Pam. And now I've got to be careful not to show the design, the chart. Now all of these charts have the same floss. So there's 10 flosses that came with the pack, and they all use the same. So they will stay together. Mojo Stitches, Zelda's Heart. Nobody has ever measured, not even the poets, how much the heart can hold. And that is gorgeous. I love that. So that one will be stitched. Heart in Hand, Choose Hope. Now I'm going to come down from the bottom so I don't show the chart. Isn't that lovely? I love the heart and how, oh gosh, look at the shaking. So that one will be stitched. And then there was also a English paper piecing in there too that I will do. I'm not an embroiderer. And there was quite a few embroidery charts, so they will be used for a giveaway for those who do like to embroider. So what came with the pack was a floss card, which will be great because all these charts, as I said, have all the same floss. So the Hugs and Kisses, which I've already dived into, is part of this pack, which will go back into this bag. But yes, I can, if you, like I said, if you want to go back and have a good look at what all the flosses were, but they are just stunning. That's another red one that I was looking at for the strawberries, but I thought it was too bright. I love this marigold. Yeah, so they've all one colours, but with different variations. So the pack was right up my alley for what I like for variegation. So that's the Hearts for Pam Future Fun that is going into my stash. And I'm going to pause you again while I do a rejig of everything. I won't be a moment. Okay, rejigging all done and we're ready to go. So last video I did have a giveaway for Autumn Skies, and you had to say the word blue, and the winner, which I'm going to pop in here, is Enchanting Stitching. So congratulations. If you'd like to send me an email to my email address in the description below, I'd be happy to get that one out for you. So well done. And I do have a giveaway for this this video as well. However, it's not a cross stitching giveaway. It is embroidery. As I said, there were quite a few charts from the Hearts for Pam package, and I don't do embroidery. So there's no point me holding on to these. And so there's 6 charts that I'm going to show you, which are without, so we've got this one, which is gorgeous. So that's one. These are all being sent, all 6 will be in the one winner's package. So so it's just 6 charts going out to one person. So if you're interested in these embroidery charts, I'm happy to post anywhere in the world. And the word I want you to use in your comment is cottage for cottage. Actually, no, we'll say heart because they're all heart related. So put the word heart, not the emoji. It has to be the word heart in your comment, and I will pick a winner in my next video. Now, as I said at the beginning of the video, I am going to have a bigger giveaway once we hit 2,000. We're so close. We're under 100 subscribers away from 2,000, which is really exciting. It's good to see the channel growing. It's lots of fun. So I think that's everything for the moment of my plans. Oh, no, I've got a big plan to share with you. What have I done with it? Here we go. I am going to be hosting a sale with my friend Linda from Linda and Leroy on Instagram called Pretty Peacock Sale. And it's just a sale, anyone can join in, and it's just a peacock. So if you're stitching something with a peacock on it and you'd like to join in, the hashtag we're using, even though hashtags are sort of not the way they used to be on Instagram, but Pretty Peacock Sale. And I'm going to be starting this, and our sale kicks off on Tuesday, which will be the 1st of November. And I'm using Silks for You in mine. So if you'd like to join us, we'd love to have you and share all the pretty peacocks and all the different, it's good to see. I love the peacock stitching, and when I went through my kitted charts, I realised I had quite a few charts that featured peacocks. But this is the one I selected to do from all the peacocks that I had. So it's called Oh Feathers by Rosewood Manor, and it's a 2021 design. So if you'd like to join us, it doesn't matter if you're halfway through a stitch. It doesn't have to be a new stitch. It's just when Linda and I decided that we would begin our stitch together of our peacocks. So that's all for today. Thank you for joining me. I do have a little farm surprise at the end. This is, we woke up to this morning. We've been keeping an eye on this hen for a while, so very excited to see that she had some bubbers underneath it. So if you'd like to see some farm cuteness, stay tuned. But otherwise, I'll see you next month. Bye. Oh, hello, Bubba. You're okay.